Yo, hello, people. We are here. This is the first episode of the Divorce Now What podcast. This is your girl Adrian,
I'm
and
Chris.
we are here in the studio recording our first episode. I'm so excited. Are you excited, Crystal?
Oh, really excited. I'm
Really
really excited and nervous.
Yeah, very nervous. But we have an amazing guy here working with us because neither one of us are tech savvy, but he's gonna hook us up. So let's go ahead and get started. So we decided to title this episode "Let's Address the Elephant in the Room." You want to talk about why we settled on that title, Crystal?
Well, the name of our podcast is what? Divorce. Now what? Okay. So the elephant in the room that we do have to address is
why are we here? Right. And you know what? And we laugh about it, y'all, but y'all don't know what it took for us to get to this laugh. Like, we're excited about life now. We're in good places. We're happy. But it took a long time for us to get to this space. So we decided to title this episode, Let's Address the Elephant in the Room, because so many of you, most people don't even know that we aren't with our spouses anymore. Both of us had such publicized marriages. And so most people still think that we're still together. So it's like, we're not still together.
Hush.
Yeah, we're not still together.
Is, hello, we're divorced.
So we just want to let you guys know what happened, how we got where we are, and how we're moving forward from there. So let's start off with a little bit of introductions so we can let the people know who we are. So Crystal, you can go ahead and go.
Well, do you want to discuss how we met before we discuss?
Oh, yeah, let's do that. So
interesting. Go
yes,
ahead.
we met. Crystal and I met like 10 years. No, was it 10 years ago?
It might be 10 years.
Maybe almost 10 years ago. So my ex-husband and Crystal went to Purdue together.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And they were friends, and actually her mom tried to hook her up with him because we weren't married yet. Me and him weren't married yet. I know.
Messy.
So me and him weren't married yet, and her mom tried to hook her up with my ex-husband. And so, but they ended up really becoming good friends.
Mm-hmm.
And then eventually me and him got married, and he's like, yo, you should meet my wife. And so that's just kind of how that happened. And me and Crystal clicked instantly.
Yeah.
And it was just a really organic relationship from there. And we've been friends ever since. She's the godmother of our youngest daughter. I'm the godmother to her youngest son, and we have just built this bomb ass friendship from there.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's kind of how we met, and here we are today.
Without the men.
Right. Usually, y'all, we used to like double date. We used to be together like double dating, doing all kinds of stuff. And actually, my ex-husband married them. Like, he is an ordained minister, and he married them. And so for us to be here now laughing and talking and not have the men with us
different space.
It's crazy as hell. As hell. But yeah, I'll go ahead and let Crystal introduce herself.
Okay, so I'm Chris, aka Crystal, Chrissy, whatever you want to call me. You know, the elephant in the room, I'm divorced. We said that. What brought me to this place?
Or who are you?
Those titles. Here we go with those titles, friend. Because when you ask me who I am, instantly, here I am, a mother.
Right. You have all
That's
these roles that we have. Yeah.
I'm still coming out with the roles. I mother to two wonderful children, products of my marriage. I was married for 7 years. I won't say long because I believe that those 7 years taught me so much about myself. So I was married for 7 years. I had 2 children as a result, and it's so much that I want to go into, but
y'all, we have so much good
it'll be
stuff
moving into a different topic.
Right.
So I am a mother, boss, entrepreneur, friend, daughter, all those, and I'm still trying to figure out what more that I'm going to become after that. So I will just leave it there for now. I got a lot on my mind, but I don't want to give anything away.
Cool. So my name is Adrian. I am a mother of 3. My ex and I have 2 children biologically together, but then my oldest daughter, he came into her life when she was about months old. I was probably still pregnant and having her when me and him started seriously dating. So that's all she really knows. So we have 3 kids together. I am a human resources professional. I work downtown Chicago for an organization. I've been doing HR for about 8 years now. Outside of that, I am building my own human resources consulting brand. So I do a lot of consulting for small businesses, for individuals who are seeking help with like resume services, career services, transitions, all that kind of good stuff. I am a daughter, a friend, a mother, a sister, all that good stuff. That is who I am. And it's so funny while we're talking about who we are. I remember the first time that I was out, one of the first times I was out, and I saw someone who hadn't seen me or him in a really long time. And for so many years, because we were married for almost 10 years, so many years, I was always so used to being introduced as, oh yeah, that's Dez's wife. And it was just like, oh, you know, my name's Adrian.
She name dropped? Yeah. She name dropped.
Yeah, okay. I mean, you guys are going to figure out what his name is anyway. But it's like, oh yeah, that's Dez's wife. And so it's like, well, no, I'm not just Dez's wife. Like, I'm Adrian, you know, I'm my own individual. So we were out somewhere and we saw this friend of ours and he had a new girlfriend. And so when he introduced me to his new girlfriend, he's like, oh, you know, this is Adrian. And I was so happy. Yeah. I was like, yes, finally somebody's like
identity.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, I'm just Adrian. I'm not Dez's wife. I'm not these kids' mama. I'm not, you know, I'm just Adrian. And it felt so good. I felt so liberated when he said that. And he was looking at me like I was crazy. But it was the truth. Like, I hadn't heard anybody just say Adrian in so long. It felt good. So we're not gonna go off on a tangent because we'll be talking all day because we have so much stuff to do. But we did want to move.
I do want to say how we got here.
Yeah, so that was gonna be my next thing. How did you get to the point where divorce was the end result?
Oh man. For me, I believe that if I'm totally honest with myself, that I knew from the beginning. I knew before I said my vows. I knew before I made it down that aisle. I knew before we had this grand party. I think that it's always signs there that we choose to ignore. And if I'm being very honest with myself, there were flags that I chose to wave off. There were things that I knew that would get me to this result, but I was on a timeline. I said, I'm this age, by this age, I need to have this, I need to have the house, I need to have what society tells us that what marriage, a successful marriage, just air quotes, guys, is supposed to look like. And that's why I'm here. Because I put myself on a timeline and I got those things and it's still...
And he looked good on paper.
Oh, it looked really good on paper. Me and my ex looked really good on paper. But in reality, that's just not what it is. And actually, Adrian and I, as you guys will find out, have very different opinions.
Like we're on this path right now of we have similar things that are taking place in our lives at the same time, but yeah, we are so different. And so different. Like, even we've been friends for so long, but the more that our friendship grows, it's so evident how different we really are. And you guys will start to see a lot of that as the show progresses too, how different we are, which I think makes for a great show because, like I said, even though we're the same, we're so different in a lot of areas. Did you want to finish up, Chris?
No, you tell them why you're here, how you got here.
Long story short, so him and I got married when we were like 22. I'm 32. I forgot to tell you guys our age. I'm 32. Chris is 31. But we got married at 22. And a lot of our history, our background is grounded in religion. And we were in the church.
Absolutely.
He was one of the pastors at our church, at our former church. And so it was kind of one of those things, like, he saw everyone around him getting married who was operating in ministry in like a leadership role. They were getting married, they were having kids, and so that's kind of just what he assumed he was supposed to do. And so then here I come. I had already had my oldest daughter, and it was kind of like, okay, I have this baby now, and I'm really tired of running the streets, and I just want something that's stable, some security, and I know that this guy will be a good father. Now, he did try to talk to me for years before we got married, and I would always shut him down because our families are like really close, y'all. And so people would always say, "Oh, you should talk to, you know, such and such." And I'm like, "Nah, yeah, he's a good guy." And I'm like, "No, I don't really like him like that." And I should have followed my first instinct years ago and stuck with that. But like I said, I felt like I did what was best for me and her at that time. That doesn't take away that he's not a good guy or even a good father, but it's just not what I should have done. So as Chris said that she knew in the beginning, I also knew in the beginning. I remember on our wedding day, even though everybody was all happy and stuff, I remember looking at myself in the mirror and asking myself, why are you doing this? Like, you know that you're not supposed to be doing this. Why are you here? And I still did it anyway. And so fast forward to 9 or 10 years into our marriage, and the only thing that shook us up, there was infidelity, there was, you know, financial problems, there was all of that. But that wasn't what really led us to
it's so funny
divorce.
that you mentioned that, because I remember when we went out as couples that we had that conversation, and us as, well, not necessarily me, but my ex said infidelity was like a no-go. It's done.
And see, I don't feel that way. Now you're not finna be out here just dogging me, but people make mistakes.
They do.
And so yeah, infidelity was a thing, and financial problems was a thing, but the straw that broke the camel's back was COVID. COVID hit us hard.
Oh yeah.
And our lives, man, were so busy. After we left our former church, we started our own church, and so we were, you know, really involved in ministry, and then our life just took off from there. So we really didn't have time to just sit and talk. And so COVID just like really made us sit and talk. We were locked up in the house together for months, and it just really brought us to have these super ass honest conversations about who we are, what we want, and if we want to move forward. And we have never been as transparent and honest with each other as we have in our entire life. And it was just like, you know, look, yo, do we want to keep moving on with this? I don't want to be married for 60 years just to say I was married for 60 years.
Right.
I don't want to wait until our kids are 18 and we're like 42, 43, and now we're looking at each other like, well, do we want to stay together? Like, you nigga, you're not going to take all my good years.
Okay.
And then be like,
all of my years.
Oh, we done. You're not going to take all my young years. And then at 43, you talking about, oh, we done. So it was just like, we're not compatible. You know, and once we started opening up and having all these honest conversations with ourselves, it just was like,
those were some tough conversations.
They were.
I wish that I would have gotten to that point where I could have those tough conversations with guys. I was out before.
Yeah, y'all never got to that point.
The conversations, it was done. And I'm glad that she mentioned that, you know, both of our exes were ministers and then in church. That played a huge role. And actually, I think, you know, the demise of my marriage, really, because of the roles that the church says that a wife and a husband is supposed to have, as opposed to do whatever works for you.
Instead of being sitting down and being realistic and saying, hey, this shit ain't working out. And that's okay. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, we've prayed, we've counseled, we've sought wise advice, and the shit ain't working.
Yeah.
And I need to be true to myself, and you need to be true to yourself. And if I'm not making you happy, baby, there is somebody out there that would just
and it's
make
hard
you,
to just
it's hard
that.
To get to. I'm telling, that's what I'm saying.
Hard to get there.
We were having some of the toughest conversations that we had ever had in our lives. And I know that the decision that we made, even though, you know, people might not like it, it was the best decision for me and him in our family. Because if we had both stayed any longer, it would have turned into fighting and arguing, and then that's when the situation would have got really bad.
And then you can't live for other people.
We can't live for other people. We have to do what's best for us. So now we co-parent. We co-parent dope as hell together.
Oh, and, baby, let's get to that episode.
And we'll talk about that in another episode. But yeah, we co-parent dope as hell together, and I appreciate the journey. It was not easy, y'all, so don't think I'm sitting up here trying to make it sound like everything is peaches and cream, because he doing some fuck shit right now I don't agree with. But
talk about it.
You know, but that don't mean I'm not. That's still my nigga at the end of the day. That's still my homie. He's still family. I'll always look out for him because my kids are in love with him and he's in love with them. So yeah, now and the funny thing is when Crystal was going through her situation, I was there helping her as her friend. And then I remember the day that I told her while all the stuff was going on in my life. And I remember talking to her one day and I just started crying. She was like, "What's wrong with you?" And I started telling her what happened. She's like, "Adrian, you've been sitting here listening to me talk about this nigga for months, and all of this been going on with you." And I'm like, because I hate to be a burden, and I'm a very private person, so I really don't like to open up and share my business, which y'all will see another side of me on this podcast that nobody ever sees. And I just didn't want to tell anybody what was going on. It wasn't that I was ashamed. It's just that I've always been a private person.
What's funny is, that was an issue in my marriage, that I was so open
and he was
and
so
didn't
private.
mind telling people this is what's going on.
Right.
Somebody help anybody out there, and it was more like, no. Shut it down. This is between me and you.
Yeah, because honestly, had he talked to Des like in the beginning when all of that stuff was going on, it may have helped y'all, But we never knew anything was even going on with y'all like that. Not to the point to where it got. I think
that's a problem.
It is. I agree.
I think that's the problem. I think we're taught that you're just supposed to shut it down and be quiet, not tell. Now I'm not saying broadcast it to the world.
Right.
But I do think that you need people to talk to be able to guide you.
Hold you accountable.
Absolutely. Could it have saved me? You over there saying, but everything happens for a reason.
I agree.
Everything happens for a reason.
Everything happens for a reason. I agree.
I know that I'm sitting here like, oh yes, we had 2 children as the product of our marriage. I'm gonna just be real, okay? These children came at the tail end, okay? I had 1 foot out the door, and my Lord said, let me go ahead and give you these before you leave.
So you double back after y'all. We gonna talk about
girl.
I think most people double back. I ain't gonna say whether I double back or not, but I think most people
okay. That was some double. Okay.
That was some doubling back.
Was some doubling back.
It was some doubling back.
Okay.
But, life happens. And, so we excited about the podcast, y'all. What can y'all expect from us during this podcast? What do you think?
Honesty, transparency, and that's, I think, going to be a big thing because, as I just said, people are quiet about it.
They are.
Really quiet. I think both of our marriages look amazing on paper, amazing in pictures, but if you kind of really go behind closed doors, it's like, well, it's a little funky here. It's a little funky there. It's not all bad. I don't want to say that because I feel like there were plenty of good times in my marriage. I think that, how did I get here? Honestly, I feel like my ex and I were really good friends prior to us.
We're good friends before.
Good.
And that's a crazy thing because you always hear like friendship is the foundation to any relationship or making it work, because I still feel like that. Even dating now, one of the first things I'm like, man, I really want to date like my best friend. I want to date somebody that's my nigga. Yeah. Right. And it's like, because if I'm your friend, I'm loving on you and I'm caring for you out of you. I have your best interest at heart because you're my friend, not because I'm obligated to do something because you're my spouse.
Talk about
it. So that's why I'm surprised that things didn't work out better.
That you should treat your spouse as if they're your friends because you have a little bit more care.
You do.
With your spouse, you feel like you can get a little
yes, or you're so nonchalant, like, oh, I got to do this for this nigga again today, but let your friend call up. You like, okay, what you need? Okay, girl, I got. Or you my homie, I got it. And it's like, it shouldn't be like that.
It shouldn't. We were such good friends, and I just feel like we shouldn't have crossed that line.
Really?
Oh my goodness, I feel like we could still be amazing friends. Unfortunately, I wish I had the same, story as Miss Adrian here, but my ex and I are not friends. He will not be a guest on this show. We're not at that place.
Never say never.
Y'all never hear it. It's what I'm saying. Okay?
As time goes on, that might change.
can never hear it, okay? And it saddens me because we were really that cool. We were really that cool, but you know, I guess that's not my story. The friendships make the best.
That's another
and my old silly self had a whole that's another thing. I had a whole fairy tale wedding.
I did too. My thing was what was my thing? Cinderella girl. And then when people came down the aisle, he was like on the floor putting a shoe on, like trying to fit it like Cinderella.
Do you know? I didn't know that. Do you know I had the Cinderella thing when I had the little pillow with the glass slipper, girl? The glass slipper. Because in my head, what marriage was
your Prince Charming.
It was a fairy tale.
Yeah.
It was a fairy tale.
And we have to tear down these ideas that marriage is that way, because it's definitely not.
Oh my gosh, because it really hurt your feelings.
It will hurt your feelings.
It will hurt your feelings. It almost break you.
It will. It will.
It's not what happened in the movies. So.
Right. This nigga ain't acting like a prince.
Okay.
He acting like a toad. Right. But one of the reasons that Chris and I got together and decided to do this podcast is, you know, when people talk about divorce, it's always, I'm on this healing journey, and you know, I'm divorced now and I'm finding myself, and all that stuff is great, and we will talk about, and it's true, and we will get into all those things. But then we also want to talk about the real shit. Like, you still fucking. I mean, you divorced, but you still fucking, right? Like, we're having sex, we're dating, we are doing shit that we never in life thought that we would do. And it's just like, there are other areas that we want to touch on. We want to be real with the people. I know that there's women out here that is probably the same age as us, or even older, younger, whatever. It doesn't really matter. But they hear all of those things about life after divorce and how it's so hard and dreadful, which, you know, like I said, all those things are true, and we'll touch on those. But it's some fun shit going on.
Really fun, okay?
it's some fun shit going on. Now, I'm not telling nobody, disclaimer, we are not bashing marriage. Don't y'all go home talking about, I'm going to leave my husband, because Chris and Adrian sound like they having a hot girl summer.
I mean, we are.
Shut up. But that is not the intent.
I love
of this
commitment.
podcast.
I love marriage.
Yes.
We love marriage.
Absolutely. We're just telling you guys what happened with us and how it affected us. So we'll be talking about all of those things. We'll talk about money and, like I said, co-parenting. I'll probably see if I could have my ex on the show.
That'd be so nice.
And we'll talk about how we do it.
He's a kind soul. He'll come.
Yeah, he will. No, he's a clout chaser, so that's why he'll come.
Plug him.
He want to see, right. He want to be seen and heard, so that's why he'll come. But so we'll have him probably on the show one day.
We have a lot of interesting topics.
We do.
You know, I'm not like ghosting,
dating. Like, y'all gonna hear me say shit and do shit that y'all gonna be like, I can't believe Adrian did that, because, you know, most people don't know me like that in that type of setting. So it's gonna be really interesting. I don't want no calls. Don't call me. Don't DM me. Don't send my daddy none of the episodes talking about, you hear what she on here talking about, because it ain't none of y'all goddamn business. If you don't like it, don't listen. Don't
listen. Not for everyone.
Yes, this is not for everyone. If you listen to the first episode and you're not feeling it, then keep it moving. Don't be sitting up here, let me tell you what she over here talking about. And don't send it to my baby daddy, because I know y'all nosy asses will. If I want him to hear it, I will share it with him. Right.
But,
so come on now, y'all.
It all comes with that. I have expectations that this is going to get around, but I assure you, it's not going to make me any less transparent.
Yeah. I plan on being, I know for myself, being as transparent as possible. This is not a show to bash him or anyone else. This is just to get our stories out there. It's really about us.
It's actually just very therapeutic to be a part of our journey. Talk about it.
It is. It really is. It really is. So let me ask you this, Chris. So what was the breaking point? Like, what was the straw that broke the camel's back? You know what? When you were like, you know what? I can't do this anymore. I'm done.
Oh my gosh. You know, I'm gonna actually, talk about it more in another episode. But the straw that broke the camel's back for me was, you know how people say they stay for the kids? I left for mine, because I felt like my ex, he had so many constraints, and I felt like it was religious constraints on, and I felt like that would be too much for my child. I felt like actually I could handle all of the pressures of what not to do.
Right. And had you not had her, you probably still would be there.
I would probably still be there. My daughter saved my life. Hallelujah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, my daughter saved my life so I left for her because I felt like she needed more freedom, and sometimes the religion and everything, it kind of boxes you in.
It does.
And I never wanted my children to feel like they were boxed in, and I knew I was boxed in, but I think that I would have stayed.
You were willing to deal with it.
I was willing to deal with it, but after I had my child, I said, oh no. But obviously I went back on the saddle because I have 2 kids, but you know.
Like I said,
it was some kind of constraint that made me go back.
And see, for me, it was the opposite. I think I stayed maybe like a year and a half before we were like having those honest conversations. I remember telling myself, like, Adrian, if you are going to be with this man for the rest of your life, you need to get your shit together. Like, you need to force yourself to feel however you think you need to feel for your spouse, because you can't keep going back and forth with yourself like this. And so I just kind of sucked it up and did it. And then that's when COVID happened, maybe like 6 months later. And I was willing to stay. We had to trick ourselves.
It's a mental thing.
It is. I had to trick myself into believing one thing when in reality it was another. And I've always been like that since I was a child, not just with him, but I've always been like that since I was a child. So I am in therapy, y'all. I do my therapy religiously.
I'm trying to get
every
in therapy,
week.
Guys.
I can't go without it. And it's tremendously helping my growth and just who I am as a person. And every week, every day, I'm seeing different and new things in me that I didn't know that was there in the beginning. And it's really been blessing me. It really has been blessing me. But I was willing to stay. Like, I was willing to stay.
Was it for the kids? Or it
would have been mainly for the kids. Until, I ain't gonna lie, he had to come to me and was damn near like, we need to just end this, because I was still trying to be like, no, let's just get it together. We could do some XYZ and do ABC, and it wasn't because I was like so in love with my husband, like, oh, I just want to be with him. No, that wasn't the case. It was really because my babies were used to being in a 2-parent household. And they were used to seeing mommy and daddy. And for them, I think it was a shock in the beginning, because me and him are not confrontational people. We don't argue. We don't fight. We don't do any of that. And so they never saw that. And so when we tell them, like, hey, we're not getting back together or we're separating, they like, what does that even mean? Like, I don't even know what that means, So the hurt on their faces, and I'm gonna start crying.
I know.
Tears coming down their eyes. That shit right there would have made me stay for a lifetime.
Forever.
Because I don't want to see my babies hurt. But 30-year-old Kirsten and Kennedy will thank me.
Yep.
They will say, mommy did what she had to do. We didn't like it when it happened, but she did what she had to do. Yeah. And that's my truth. And I'm hoping they thank me for it later.
I think it's a burden on people to feel like they can't do because we say we're staying for the children, but we're really not, because kids can pick up on that energy.
They can.
Whether you say anything out of your mouth, they can still pick up on that energy. Yep. So we're doing everybody a disservice.
Yep. And one of the things I realized too is that throughout this whole process, man, kids are resilient.
Yes.
Like,
absolutely.
I was more hurt than they were, because I'm like, oh, my baby's my baby. I'm crying over my babies. Every week I'm in therapy because I'm crying like, I don't know how my babies are going to take this. But as I started watching them, I'm like, they don't even really care. Like, they care, but it's not
they
like
get a holiday somewhere else.
Yeah. And I got daddy's girls. Yeah. So one of the first things them little heifers asked me was, are we still going to be able to see daddy? I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna see y'all daddy. I'm like, I'm not taking him away from y'all. Daddy, okay? I'm like, y'all can see y'all daddy whenever y'all want to.
They probably
and he
started a whole me and you
girl,
shall
they
never
probably
part,
did,
okay?
right? They like, oh, my daddy. I'm like, oh, y'all gonna get on my nerves. But yeah, they are they're very resilient.
I'm actually very grateful, honestly. I'm grateful that my marriage ended prior to my children knowing anything.
I know. So they'll never know.
They
like
never
that.
know us together.
Yeah.
This is their normal.
Yeah,
so they'll never know that. So I am grateful that we decided. Oh my gosh. Yeah. I couldn't imagine seeing their little faces.
Because it was hard.
I couldn't imagine.
But what else to expect from us, guys? This is not, like I said, we aren't going to be bashing anybody.
No.
So don't be trying to listen every week.
We are happy.
Yeah, we are. Like, you know, people say that, but I wish y'all could see the looks on our faces. Like, we are very much so in a good space. It's not, it was not easy to get to this place. But I can honestly say I am the happiest that I've ever been in my life.
I feel like do I look younger? I feel like
I have this glow. I've been told that I have this glow.
Okay, and it's not because of baby.
It's not because of a baby. It's not because of a nigga, but it's really because I am really and truly this time taking care of Adrian. For so long, I was taking care of everybody else, not even just him and the kids, but everybody was getting a piece of me.
Self-care is truly the best care.
Yes, and now that I am you know, not with him and, you know, we share the kids and all that kind of stuff, I really have a lot of time to focus on myself and even like things that I'm passionate about, like stuff that I've gotten into recently. I started skating and I, you know, do the whole self-care and working out and Orange Theory and, you know, all that kind of stuff. Now I'm so serious about Adrian. It's not even funny. Like I don't play about me anymore.
I don't ever want anybody to be able to. I'm not even going to put all the pressures on them because you can't take anything away from me that I don't give.
No, you can't.
So I don't ever want to give that part of me, that all of me really, to anybody else in that way ever again. I want to hold on to this new me. Well, it's not even new. She's always been there.
Right?
Yeah.
You just have to tap into finding that person again.
Yes.
Even like our pastor used to say, everything that you need is already in the house. And when he said in the house, he was talking about inside. Like everything that you need, every resource, everything that you would ever need or think of, it's already equipped. You are already equipped with it, and it's already on the inside of you. You just have to tap into that. And sometimes we get so cluttered, you know, with life, and we fill our plates with all this bullshit that don't even really matter. Yeah. And all that stuff gets clouded. That's so now I'm on a journey of finding it.
Society tells us that these things matter,
and they don't. Don't that shit does not.
It's exhausting.
Y'all, that shit does not matter. It does not matter.
At the end of the day,
it does not matter. And when I started to alleviate all of that shit off of my plate, I went through like withdrawals. And I was talking to my therapist actually told me this. It was like a withdrawal, like, you know, when somebody's on drugs and they don't have their drugs anymore, they go through like withdrawal symptoms. Right. Like, you know, they start getting sick and depressed. And that's how I was, because I'm so used to my life looking a certain way and my plate being so full with all these different things. And then when all the things are stripped away and all the excuses are stripped away, then it's like, oh shit, Adrian, now you really got to do the work. Yeah. Like, you know, you ain't got no excuse no more, right? Like, you really got to do the work. Yeah. And I was not prepared for that. I was like a fish out of water, because those things were my crutches for so long.
Right.
And now I don't have it no more. I don't have no excuses anymore. Right. So it's like, well, shit, girl, what's your excuse? You the only thing holding you back now. So like, what's up? What you gonna do?
Fix you.
Yeah, I have to. So now that is the number one thing that I'm on, y'all. I'm done with these niggas this summer. I was gonna have a hot girl summer, but my hot girl summer is gonna be a hot girl self-care summer.
No, baby. I'm that summertime shower. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and see what they talking about out there.
But I've been dating a lot, and I told Chris I'm just taking a break because I'm tired.
I'm just getting started.
She's just getting started. I have been dating a lot these last 5 months, different people, and it's exhausting. So now I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna just focus on me. I know that's like the cliche thing to say.
Get in tune with your
y'all will learn, and Chris will tell y'all. I'll say that this week, and next week I'll be like, y'all
don't listen to her. I'm in love. I know him. I love him.
Oh my gosh.
The following week she'll be telling me, I have no idea who that man is. Well, who is he? I have no idea who he is. So
what can I say? I'm a Libra, y'all, and Chris is a Virgo.
I am.
So I hope we compliment each other, because I can be crazy and she'll be the one to be like, listen,
bring it in.
Yeah.
Bring it in.
What are you doing? But I'm a hopeless romantic. I love them all.
But do they all love us? Okay.
Okay, right. I can't wait to start telling y'all about this dating scene and these niggas, because it's just so crazy. But we are here. We are, like I said, we're super duper excited about this podcast. We hope that it can help women tremendously, and some men if they, choose to listen. But we really want to get it out.
That everybody's journey isn't going to look the same. Adrian and my journey, it does not look the same. For an example, I don't think I've ever asked you this, friend.
What?
Did you mourn your relationship ending?
That's a good question. That's something that me and my therapist talked about. I did. But it was never a mourning for him. Like, it was never a mourning for, like, man, I gotta go get my man back. Like, it was never that. It was more so for the life that we built. And I mean, when I say life, like the day-to-day that we built. Like, we had a routine. We had a schedule. Everybody was doing this. Everybody was doing that. We supported each other, always having somebody there. But so I mourned that life, but not necessarily the person.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
Oh, it makes total sense.
I don't know if I still need to go through that. I don't feel the need to, though. I don't feel the need to have to be honest with your friend. Feel like I need to mourn him.
Felt nothing. I got nothing. I felt like if I was being honest with myself, it was done years prior to when it actually was done. So I haven't cried. Not one tear.
And you don't feel like you need to?
I do not feel like I need
to. I will say, me and him had we had this idea of what, I'm telling you, we had so many honest, crazy conversations. Y'all would be like, I can't believe y'all talked about that shit. But it had to happen. We had to have these conversations. But one of the things that was a hope for us that would happen is we envision our life, as co-parenting together. And, I would have my significant other, he would have his significant other, and we all four of us just be super cool and raising our kids together.
That would be ideal.
Yeah, that was like our ideal situation. And I could see us getting there, but not now.
Right. I was gonna ask, so what does that look like?
Not right now. We thought we were gonna be best friends. Like, we were telling each other, like, man, you gonna be my homie. Like, you gonna really be my best friend. Yeah, like that shit. Yeah. Like, we gonna be real best friends. Yeah. And again, it ain't happening right now.
Yeah.
But I can eventually. I can honestly, with all my heart, eventually see
so
us
well.
Doing it.
I think that you guys eventually just roll back into the friendship.
I do.
Right. I think that just everything needs.
It's gonna take time, and we need space. We need space, and we need some time.
Because that would have been confusing. Y'all just rolling over into
and that's
friendship.
What we. See, that's the funny thing. That's what we thought we were gonna do. Like, right after we, separated, we like, oh yeah, we besties now. But it can't happen like that. It can't happen like that. We need some time. We need some space. It was immature actually of us to think that way, but we thought we had our shit together. We thought, oh, can't nobody tell us nothing. We can do things the way that we want to do things, which is still true. But we just have to have some time. We can't be out here like that.
Speaking of someone, giving advice, there's nothing wrong with advice. I'm looking forward to us having people come in, like even other older people or even younger who are divorced and can speak on their experiences navigating through the divorce and dating and kids and all of that. I think that'll be really good.
I think so too. So that is going to be something that we plan on doing, guys. We'll have guest speakers come through. It ain't always going to be just me and Chris. The next episode we'll have like segments for you guys throughout the show, advice letters, and of course a few sponsorship ads throughout it. And then so it's going to be a dope summer. a dope hot girl summer.
I'm excited.
So we are super excited.
Stories to tell.
Yeah, she gonna make me come out of retirement. And she gonna make me come out of retirement to give content to the people for these stories.
You know what? Keep cleaning your house, girl. Clean your house. Clean that house.
So the clean the house thing, I told Chris yesterday, you know what? I'm tired of this nigga. I'm going to clean my house internally and externally. I'm tired now. But it's been fun though. Like a lot of people were like, oh, you about to be dating again after all these years and yada yada yada. But it's been so much fun.
Yeah, because it's a new experience.
I don't know why y'all complain so much because I've been having so much fun. And then also too, I think me and Chris are in a different boat than a lot of women our age. Like, she was married for 7 years. I was married for damn near 10. I got 3 kids. She got 2. We at 32 and 31, we fucking lived a whole life already.
Okay, I'm not looking for no man to marry me and take me down the aisle.
Yeah, we're not trying to get married right now. Now, I ain't gonna lie, y'all. I'm a hopeless romantic. So if my boo come along and say, hey, let's do this, then I'm doing it.
Here we go. She'll do it next week. You know what? Let me tell you what elephant we didn't address, okay? We in here talking about divorce. Now what? The real what is, I'm not divorced totally, guys. I don't get divorced until, I don't know. I'm gonna just be real. I am spiritually divorced.
It'll be soon.
I'm spiritually divorced. This is why she's saying that she wants to get remarried. No, thank you. I believe in commitment. I believe in love. I do not believe the government needs my name and my spouse's name on a piece of paper because it's hard.
I think different.
You just can't rip it up. You have to go ask for permission. I believe I want a whole ceremony. I do. Yeah. A commitment ceremony. I don't need.
See, my belief in marriage comes from my my spiritual background. And so that's a whole nother
thing. But religion and spirituality.
It is. It's two different things. It's two different things. But that is also something that I am dismantling now in therapy.
Different things.
You know, once you're ingrained with something in your mind,
absolutely.
For so long, my father's a pastor. I married a pastor. And so once you are ingrained for so long with certain principles and foundations, it's hard for you to tear those walls down. So that is a process that I am currently on.
Guys, I was separated January 2019. What is today?
What is 2021?
It's 2021. So ask me again, would I ever do this? And it's taken this long, and it's not because we were going back and forth. It's been over. It's been over.
Well, like Chris said, if y'all see me on social media next week with a ring on, just mind your business, okay?
Y'all pray for her.
Y'all, just mind your business. Keep moving.
Pray.
So, you guys check us out every other Sunday. We'll be releasing our podcast episodes then. We plan on having a great summer for you guys and just a fun summer. Fun summer.
Excited.
Chris, you have anything else to say before we end?
No, like I say, tune in.
Tune in.